So Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, who, listen, I don't know Mayorkas' personal role in this versus Joe Biden's. All I do know is that Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas have made it easier to cross the southern border than any time in modern American history. By far, it is not close. Again, the process is super simple. You literally walk up to the border and you wave your hand and you say, I don't want to go back to my home country because I fear to go back to my home country. And they just release you into the interior with a little Post-it note that says, come back later. But Mayorkas is going to pretend everything is normal. So here he was yesterday saying, don't worry, the migration challenge isn't unique to the United States. Spoiler alert, it is. In fact, it's even unique to the United States over the course of the last 5 years, because this was not happening in 2020.
The high number of migrants we have encountered at our southern border is a challenge that is not unique to the United States. Countries throughout our hemisphere, in fact, throughout the world, are experiencing an unprecedented number of displaced people fleeing poverty, authoritarian regimes, homes destroyed by extreme weather events, corruption, and violence.
Corruption and violence and extreme weather events? I mean, you mean the things that have driven migration for all of human history? Migration levels as a percentage of the population, in general, globally, are actually kind of similar to what they've been in the past. There's a whole new book out from Harvard University Press all about this. But you know what's not new? What's happening at our southern border right now? It's not new except in the extent. The extent is brand new. Brand new. Again, in reality, it is highly likely that at least 5 million illegal immigrants have crossed America's southern border and disappeared into the interior of the United States during Joe Biden's tenure. Meanwhile, Mayorkas, again, he keeps lying. He says, we're doing everything we can to reduce what he calls now irregular migration. No, you're not. You know how I know you're not? Because you're releasing everyone into the United States with a come back later date. That would not be doing everything you can, would it?
The majority of all migrants encountered at the southwest border throughout this administration have been removed, returned, or expelled, a majority of them. We are doing everything we can within a broken system to incentivize non-citizens to use lawful pathways, to impose consequences on those who do not, and to reduce irregular migration.
Absolutely false. Absolutely false. When he says the majority of all migrants encountered throughout the administration have been removed, that's not true. Title 42 allowed for that removal. And then Title 42 ended. And then Mayorkas himself says 85% of people showing up at the border are being released into the interior. So Mayorkas now is just changing the term. He's going to play semantic games. He says, when we say they're released, they're not really released. They are, quote unquote, released into immigration proceedings. I'll explain what he means by this in a moment.
It is very important to understand that when an individual is released, they are released into immigration enforcement proceedings where they can make a claim under the laws that Congress has passed.
Okay, let me explain what that means on a practical level. What that means, when he says released into immigration proceedings, you're imagining they're kept in a detention facility until their claim can be heard by a judge, at which point very few of them are going to have an actual asylum claim and most of them get expelled. Wrong you are. The way this actually works under current Biden protocols is you arrive at the border. You wave your hand, like I said. Border Patrol agent picks you up, takes you to a detention facility. They process you at the detention facility. And then you are given a come back later date within 72 hours. And then you are driven to, say, the Tucson airport, where you are flown to wherever you wish to go. That is what he means by immigration proceedings. I mean, that's like when people in New York get arrested for going on a bridge and then they're released with a show up in court later date. Was that really a punishment? Particularly when you know that the vast majority of people who get that show up later date are never going to show up again. Why would they? They to get expelled? Or they could just, disappear into the interior and never show up again. And ICE is not going to go get them because ICE has not been tasked by the Biden administration with following up with any of these people. The Biden administration is not sending ICE to go round up all of the people who were released when they missed their sell-by date, their court date. The Biden administration has said, unless you have a criminal record, we are not going to do that. Unless you commit an act of criminality, we're not going to do that. Which is, by the way, why the number of deportations from the interior of the United States has radically dropped under Joe Biden. There's only one reason to do this. It's ideological. It is certainly not driven by America's best interests. It's DEI related. Again, because DEI is just code for America's systems are white supremacist, and therefore America has to fix all of its systems by bending over backward anytime there is somebody who's not white involved in a proceeding. That would be the basic idea right here. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies, fantastic way to make sure you're getting essential nutritional ingredients every single day. Balance of Nature uses an advanced cold vacuum process that encapsulates fruits and veggies into whole food supplements without sacrificing those natural antioxidants. The capsules are completely void of additives, fillers, extracts, synthetics, pesticides, or added sugar. The only thing in Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules are, like the fruits and veggies. Right now, not only will my listeners get 35% off your first order, you will now get a free fiber and spice supplement as well. Balance of Nature's fiber and spice supplement, it's a revolutionary fiber drink with a unique blend of 12 spices and whole foods. Producer Zach actually makes it a point to bring his Balance of Nature fruit and veggie capsules anytime we're on the road. He takes them every day. It's what keeps him in tip-top shape. There's never been an easier way to make sure you're getting your daily dose of fruits and veggies. Experience Balance of Nature for yourself today. Head on over to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Shapiro. Get 35% off your first order. As a preferred customer, plus get that free bottle of fiber and spice. Again, that's balanceofnature.com. Promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first preferred order, plus a free bottle of fiber and spice. An insane story. If you thought our public officials can't get any more corrupt and ridiculous, wrong you are. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, District Attorney Fani Willis, you remember her, she's the one who filed a RICO case against Donald Trump for election interference down in Georgia. She improperly hired an alleged romantic partner to prosecute Donald Trump. So she was banging some dude, and he became the prosecutor against Donald Trump, and then financially benefited from their relationship, according to a court motion filed Monday, arguing the criminal charges in the case were unconstitutional. The bombshell public filing alleged Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, a private attorney, paid for lavish vacations he took with Willis using the Fulton County funds his law firm received. County records show that Wade, who has played a prominent role in the election interference case, has been paid nearly $654,000 in legal fees since January 2022, and the DA authorized his compensation. So the way this works is that Fani Willis hired the dude she was nailing to help prosecute Trump and then paid him like $655,000 of public money and then took vacations with him. According to this motion filed on behalf of Michael Roman, a former Trump campaign official. A Willis spokesperson said that they will respond through appropriate court filings, but did not respond to a request for comment, which means, that's true. The document offers no concrete proof of the romantic ties between Willis and Wade, but says sources close to both the special prosecutor and the DA have confirmed they had an ongoing personal relationship. Roman's lawyer said she reviewed the case file in Wade's ongoing divorce proceedings at the Superior Court Clerk's office and made copies of certain documents. The case file was later improperly sealed because no court hearing was required as held by law according to the motion. So apparently this all came from a divorce case. According to Stephen Gillers, professor emeritus at the New York University Law School, he said a closer look at Willis's decision-making is needed before it can be determined whether the indictment should be dismissed. He said if the allegations are true, Willis was conflicted in the investigation and the prosecution of the case and was not able to bring the sort of independent professional judgment her position required. He said that doesn't mean her decisions were improperly motivated, but it does mean the public and state could not have the confidence in the independent judgment her position required her to exercise. In other words, perhaps the reason she filed these charges against Donald Trump was not just for personal political gain, but because she wanted to go on vacations with the dude that she was paying to prosecute Trump. The filing alleges that Willis and Wade have been involved in a romantic relationship that began before Wade was appointed special prosecutor. It said they traveled to Napa Valley and Florida, cruised the Caribbean, using tickets Wade purchased from Norwegian and Royal Caribbean cruise lines. Although the filing did not include documentation of those purchases, the motion said the checks sent to Wade from Fulton County and his subsequent purchase of vacations for Willis could amount to honest services fraud, which is a federal crime in which a vendor gives kickbacks to an employer. It could also be prosecuted under, wait for it, federal racketeering statute. That'd be RICO. Oh, they're all the best. Everyone is great at this. Just genius level stuff happening at every level of American government. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.